Okay, right now I'm practicing with some very light wood. This stuff is like, doesn't weigh anything. I don't know what it is, but it's a really light, very easy to carve wood. I mean, look at how easy that stuff just carves right in. So I've got the root here, or this piece. I'm trying to make that my baseboard, my hearth, and then I'm going to try to make this my catch. Here's my spindle. I've got a rock as my bearing block, and I don't know if this is going to work or not, but I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to try it. So the first step is to burn in. I don't know how this camera is going to see where it's at. So let's see if I can burn this in. The camera might be in the way, I'm not sure. We're just out here goofing off, and I thought that I would do a little friction fire practice. So let's see what we can get going here. It's going to be, I'm going to have to change my angle a little bit so I'm not running into the camera. So all I want right now is just a burn in. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. So now we have a good quality burn in. And I'm going to take this point down, make that flat. Something like that. I'm also going to polish up this end here. I'm not going to take the black part off. I'm just going to thin it out just a tiny bit. And then I'll cut my notch. And then we'll try to see if we can't get a coal. I don't know if we will or not, to be completely honest with you. This is just practice over here. So bear with me. This saw, the teeth are so aggressive, it's kind of hard doing a proper notch. I gotta really be careful that I don't go too deep with this saw here. So I'm getting close on my notch. And it's windy today, so I don't know how the wind's gonna play into this. So I'm trimming this top area off because I want the dust to be able to fall into the hole. And if you look at the underside, it's already kind of open. So I'm going to move the camera from over here somewhere. Let's see, bear with me on that camera work, folks. That should be a good view. And let's get that going. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to use like this little bit of wood here that was left over, just to kind of stick it down there so I don't have to make as much dust. At least that's what the hope is. Okay, so let me move my saw. And I don't really like cameras, but I guess that's the best bet. Okay, so I'll try to angle myself right here. Let's go ahead and get some dust. Okay, looks like the notch is fairly full of dust. Not completely, but let's see about making a little more dust. I had ignition and it went out. Okay, so let me touch up this drill just a little bit. This is so fun. I like this kind of practice. Okay, let's try that again. The wind is definitely not helping. The wind is making things a little harder for me, but that's why I'm out here practicing. I'm learning. I'll be honest, I didn't think that this kind of material would stay together like it has been. It's actually doing very good at staying together. Okay. Get you closer. Take a look at that. Wow. That's crazy because, oh, just blew out, I think. You can barely see the coal right there. But this stuff is so soft, and this rock for a bearing block works great. Look at that little coal, crazy. And my bow, just a regular piece of tamarack with a notch cut in the end. But wow, with this set, this is just junk. Driftwood, you know, it's real light stuff. It almost feels like balsa wood or something, very light. I was able to get a coal. Okay, right now, what I'm trying is, this is a little piece of dimensional lumber that I found. It's just a board, but it's fairly soft. So I'm going to try this against cottonwood and see what happens. I'm just getting a nice little blunt point there to start so I can burn in. Gosh, I guess I'll burn in right here, I'm thinking. Let's see, is that gonna be, yeah, that'll be about right. So let's try to burn that in. My bearing block is just a piece of rock. And here's my bow, so let's give this a shot. I have no idea how this is going to go. Okay, let's try to get this burnt in here. Okay, now we have a good solid burn in. So I'm going to fix the end of my spindle here. I'm going to leave that black portion on there. Okay, and the tip of the spindle, just going to flatten that down, and I'm going to give it these little facets. Hopefully they'll increase a little bit of traction. Nothing crazy. Very basic, very simple. Now the notch. The notch is going to be a little bit difficult because I have a saw that has big teeth. But I'll just try to make my notch real slow. Hopefully it'll work. It's hard to cut an accurate notch with this big of a saw. So sometimes my notches are a little off. The main concern that I have is that I don't go too deep into the circle here, where the burn-in is. When that happens, that's when I start having problems. So I'm going to stop about right there, and let me hit this other angle. Okay, so I'll finish the rest with my knife. Okay, so I cut this area so that the dust will fall into the notch. The notch is obviously a very crude notch, definitely not the best notch I've ever seen by any means, but I'm hoping that it'll function. So I cut the same facets on the bottom. Those are put there for an effort for the air, the oxygen to get to the coal. So I'm going to try to change this angle just a little, and hopefully we'll have some success here. This is kind of a difficult set that I'm working with. It's just junk, you know, sitting around. So I'm going to start by trying to produce some dust, and then if I get dust, then I'll try for that coal. I don't know how that's going to work, to be honest with you. I really don't know. It's windy out right now, and I'm on the sand, and it's just, I've got a lot of things against me, so this is going to be a little bit of a difficult task. But that's why I'm out here practicing. Try to get better at my skills. See, just that alone, just that right there is kind of crazy. Hopefully the camera will stay put right there. So right now I'm just trying to fill the notch. Dust, but I'm having trouble. My spindle is a little bit wide. I'm going to narrow that down. The reason I'm doing this is so that the friction will be down in the hole, not on the outside of it. So let's try that again. My bow is working great. My bearing block is good. Okay, I'm getting closer to having dust. In fact, I have a coal. I already have an ember. Hopefully you can see that. It's a very small one. Crazy. I did not expect to get it with that small amount of dust. But we got it. Kind of crazy. So I want to try a little more, so I'm going to cut this area because the dust ain't falling in the notch. It's just not falling in the notch the way I'd like it to. So let's try this again. It's really hard right now because everything is windy, and you know, I've got just about every variable that I could have against me right now. But that's why I'm continuing to practice, because that's where you learn, is from these variables. When you put yourself out here away from comfort, away from the perfect bow drill set in your shop or whatever, come out here with real situation, that's where you really learn. Yes, I have another coal already. See that? Didn't take long at all. It's gonna get blown away here pretty soon. But to produce that with such crappy materials, I mean, that should say a lot. I mean, look at how crappy this spindle is. And the hearth, I don't even know what kind of wood this is, this spindle. The hearth is cottonwood, but look at how crappy that notch and everything is. I mean, it's about as worst as you can get, but I still got a coal out of it. Here's the bearing block, just a rock, something comfortable to the hand. That actually worked really well. Earlier, I used this hole with this spindle. Worked good. I got about 3 or 4 coals out of that. And then I tried this thin piece. This thing is really light, and I got 1 coal out of that. This piece is like balsa wood. It just chewed up the top of it though. But it kept spinning, and I was able to get a coal. I didn't know that this stuff would even hold up. It's so soft. And then I got this spindle, and wait till you see the fireboard on this one. Look at this. This was the set. I got a coal out of this. These are both the same type of material. They're very light. I just flattened that out, flattened the bottom, got my burn in right in the middle, made my crappy notch, and busted out a coal about halfway through. That's crazy. So there's my friction fire practice for today. Yesterday at the house I practiced out here, and I got 1 coal, and then I went home and I got 3 more, so I had 4 coals yesterday, and today I got 1, 2, 3, 4 today. So it's just getting out and getting that practice in and learning what woods work, which ones don't. I didn't think that this lumber was gonna work, but it did. It really did. Thanks for watching. Well, it's time to go home. Got all my bow drill practice done. Had a good time out here. Now I gotta cross this river and get back to a car. So we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Hope you had fun with us. Whew. The dogs had fun. My daughter had fun. Everybody was happy. See you next time. Look at my pack. Pretty crazy. I got all kinds of Picked up some cottonwood bark over here in this bag. I like having that. It's good tinder, so I pick it up when I find it, and I usually throw a bundle of it in the car. We'll see you later.